Hey, folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to continue a show that we started last week of The Warning in Toluca at the Rockfest, Mexico in 2017. This happened on September 30th. They just blew the stage apart, as far as we can tell. We've only seen one song so far, but it was very impressive. It was Exterminated. Today we're going to look at Unmendable. I am told that the result of this appearance was that they were asked to open for Def Leppard a few days later in Mexico City, which they did. Def Leppard was so impressed by the band that they asked them to do it again in Guadalajara a couple of days later. So within a week of this appearance, they opened for Def Leppard twice, which is great. And it's funny, the first time, there's actually a story about this. I guess not everybody had heard the band or knew how the booking happened. Maybe the band themselves didn't even know about them. But they came out and they're like, what is this? 3 little girls? What's happening here? You know, this is a time period when Ale is 12 years old. So, and Pal's 15, Danny's 17. And so they're going, what is this, a Disney? What situation? What's going on here? Are they going to put on, piped in music and dance? What's happening? And then they started playing, and they played Exterminated first, I'm sure, just like they did. In fact, let me double check that. No, they started with Unmendable, which is what we're going to listen to today. They were like, what? And that's when they said, okay, we've got to have them again for another show. So it was one of those confound the expectations situations, which is great. We love hearing those stories. So anyway, let us go ahead and take a look at this. We're also going to be watching the crowd size because we're probably going to watch this whole show. It's only a little over a half hour long. I think there's 7 or 8 songs. So we expect to see the crowd size get bigger as time goes on. Adrian, any thoughts ahead before we take a look at this?
I was thinking of the crowd size, oddly enough, whether it's going to be bigger in this one than the last one. I know they gathered a small crowd, but they were starting to gather a crowd. So
yeah, and you'll notice, it's broad daylight here. For all we know, they're the first people up at the concert, at the festival. And that's always tough when you're first up. It's like, where are the people? They're still parking, Anyway, let's go ahead and check this out, and we'll talk about it after.
Please
Oh, man. What'd you think?
That intro made me think of Steve Albini again.
Oh, yeah. I think I can hear that. I think I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, it's almost like the beginning of Nirvana's first album, Bleach, or something like that, or something. I think they're like playing something really raw, and it kind of has that type of sound to it the guitar has. I don't know how to describe it really, but you have to hear it, I guess.
Well, yeah. So Steve actually produced their third album, which was In Utero. And to me, it sounds like something. It almost sounds like the Scentless Apprentice guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Something
That's
like
what I
that.
was thinking about, too, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And it's funny, they would have come up with that on their own for the most part, just from the influences that they'd heard. They knew who Nirvana was, but of course, it's not one of the bands that they usually mention as a top influence or anything. A big rock band in the 90s anyway, so there could have been some influence there. Yeah, Steve, he produced for a lot of bands by the time he was finished. And of course, he also started Big Black. And we actually first heard of Steve during the Big Black years when the album Atomizer came out with Kerosene on it. And it's kind of a dark album, but he would sit home and work on his tape recorder. He had a 4-track cassette deck, and he would make the first EPs for that band that way. And that's how he... Anyway, that's way down a path we don't really need to go down. But yeah, I could see where Def Leppard might have been impressed, especially if they really weren't expecting much. Like, oh, surprise. They blew the doors off. How about the crowd size, Adrian? What'd you think?
Well, it was bigger. It was getting bigger.
Yep. Yeah, they're drawing the crowd for sure. And, they only started playing, 7 minutes ago by the time we stopped there. So that's not bad. So they're definitely getting attention. Yeah, I love listening to them back in this time period.
I just like the sound quality in this recording, too, somehow. Just like, probably what it sounded like at the event, because you're out in the open air and everything.
This is a very good one, I think. Now we have many shows that people are saying, no, do more of that one. Do more of that. There's something like 3 or 4 of them now that we want to try to give their just desserts because they're so good. Well, folks, why don't you let us know what you thought of this performance and this show? And make sure you saw the Exterminated clip, too. It's really something else. If you have other suggestions for us, please leave those below. If you, by some miracle, were at this show, let us know about that. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. Don't forget, we have a second channel now, Modern Rock Talk, where I'm putting up interviews, which are mostly of The Warning. Not entirely, but mostly. So by all means, go over, take a look. Let me know what you think, and subscribe if you like it. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will catch you on the next one. All right. Take care, folks.
See you all later.